if this bond fails, based on the legislative action that just took place in the 89th legislative session, what are the restrictions moving forward that will be placed on the county before they can have this bond issue on the ballot again? And what restraints are holding or higher elevation of voter passage are there? Do you know that law?
I don't, but I will tell you that every time that the legislature's met in the last 4 sessions, they're making it harder and harder and harder for counties and entities to go out to raise debt. They're just putting up more and more hurdles. And one of the things in another county, they're thinking about doing a bond program, and I told them that 26 is going to be better than 27, because 26 you're before the legislature, 27 you're going to have new rules, and they haven't gotten better in the last 4 sessions, so you can only assume they're going to get worse.
I remember a bill that was making it where, and I don't know the outcome of how the final bill came out, but I remember that if you issued a call for a vote and the bond failed, it was like a 3 or 5 year cooling off period.
That didn't pass.
Okay, good.
Yeah, no, that fortunately, and there also was a bill that didn't pass that was going to require a supermajority of 2/3.
Yeah, that'll
now
never happen.
most of my campaigns have been more than 2/3, but it's getting harder.
Yeah.
So, which that's a whole other conversation, is why the legislature seems to be wanting to strip the local government of any authority, but then giving them all the unfunded mandates to implement.
Mr. Rodriguez?
John, there's a big difference when it comes to financing bonds between the city and the county. I just can't. You got to go before the voters with the county bonds, and for the city, it's a little bit different, isn't it?
Well, I prefer to go before the voters, because if they say yes, then there's no equivocation about what they want. And I've been saying this, and that's self-serving because I'm in the business, but there isn't anything that affects quality of life worse than crappy roads, right? It doesn't. You can have the greatest job in the world, but if you got to commute for an hour and you got to drive on 377 like that, that just sucks the marrow out of your bones. So transportation is a quality of life issue. I've said that all my life, and I think voters understand that transportation isn't a privilege; it's a necessity. And so, hopefully the voters will see. I'm not advocating; I'm just pointing out the positive side only.
Well, John, thank you, and I'm not going to cut off the questions, but I just want to, make the comment here that yes, it says in big bold letters, this is a tax increase, and yes, that has to be addressed. But as you walk through the demographics there, and we talk about, well, it's different in the city, it's different here. We are county residents. Everyone that lives in the city is a county resident.
Correct. Everyone
that lives in the city will pay county taxes. That's why there's concern about, is this a tax increase? And we pay city taxes and we pay school taxes. We pay all the taxes that are here. So if it affects the county, it affects easily 20% of the total population of the county. And like you see, just driving in here today, we hear about this every day, because it is an unsafe environment out there when you get on to 377. If you're in an accident and the ambulance takes over 30 minutes to get to you, it's not good.
So, like I say, the county has the ability to feather it in on the roadside, because we're having a conversation in another county where they're thinking they want to issue twice as much as what they need from a bond program that passed in 21, and I'm telling them, you can't spend that money that fast on a federal process, because the game's rigged against you. The time it takes to get these things done, you don't want to be sitting on a lot of issued debt that you're just waiting to use. So we feather in the issuances only when we need them, and we keep it under those issues. We've had times where the county actually said, look, this may be a 3 cent over a 10-year period, a 3 cent increase in your INS side of your tax rate. And 4 years later, we did another bond program, and we came back and said, we know we told you 3 cents, but it ended up only being 3/4 of a penny that we needed to cover that whole bond program. So roads can be done very prudently through your tax program.